Hello, everybody. We're going to be starting in just a few minutes. We're going to be just starting. Oh, it's 7 o'clock, so we're going to get going. I always say start on time and early. So I'm going to be going back and forth. I'll have me live for a few minutes, and then I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint. So to be here with you. I am so glad to see you all. This is a great opportunity for you to think about what you would love in your life and to come up with a vision for your life. We're going to be working on that today. So I just want to make sure that you know you will need a pen and a piece of paper. And it's going to be very tempting for you to want to multitask. So you want to turn your phone on silent. You want to turn your notifications for your emails off and really concentrate on what we're going to be doing today. I am going to be checking the comments every now. I will be asking you questions and you can put comments in. Just so you know, there is could be a bit of a delay depending on your internet speed. So I will just check the comments periodically. I will ask you to answer questions and I might not check right away because I would wait for you to be able to put the comments in. So I'm going to get going. And for those of you who don't know me very well, I'm Lynn Tranchel and I am a certified transformational life coach. I have 3 coaching certifications. And I'm just going to drop down here for a minute because my cat wants to be in the picture. Say hi. This is Bonsai. Every now and then he comes and bugs me and says, I need attention, I need attention. And he's doing that right now. So I figured doing that, he will leave me alone for a while because I was bugging him and he doesn't like it. So he just left. So that worked out great. So I'm going to start off the webinar with a joke. There was a mother mouse and her little baby mice were rummaging out into the house that they lived in to find some food. And they were creeping around the corner, and around the corner there was this big cat, much like Bonsai. And the cat looked and got all excited and was thinking, dinner. So it started hunched down and crawl closer and closer and closer and closer. And the mother mouse reared up on her hind legs and went, woof, woof, woof. And the cat got scared and ran away. So the mother mouse turned to her children and said, see, children, it's very important to know a second language. So you want to know that there is a language of success, and that's what we're going to be looking at today. It's a language to create the results you want. And once we consciously understand what this language is, we can apply it to any area of our life. Now, how many of you have some goal that you'd like to achieve or some area in your life that you'd like to improve? I'm asking you to raise your hand. And you may think that it's weird that I ask you to raise your hand on a webinar because I can't see you. On the other hand, every time you raise your hand, every time you say yes to the universe will say yes to you. So I will be asking you to raise your hand and to type yes in the comments field. So how many of you have a goal you'd like to achieve or some area in your life you'd like to improve? Raise your hand and type yes. And how many of you have ever achieved a goal or a dream in your life that when you first had that goal, you didn't know how you were going to achieve it? Again, raise your hand and type yes in the comments. So that just proves a point. And first, that it's we're much more capable of anything that we know. So before I switch over the PowerPoint, I'm just checking again my comments. We need a paper and pen, no multitasking. You want to concentrate on exactly what we're doing. So I'm going to switch back over to the PowerPoint. I've learned during the many opportunities that I've had speaking to different groups and organizations is that they often, our dreams and goals are born out of challenges that we are facing or the pain that we're currently experiencing. So once again, raise your hand and type yes for this. How many of you have a challenge you're currently experiencing, some area that's causing you pain, perhaps in your career or in a relationship, perhaps in your health or with the amount of money you have or the lack of free time? So raise your hand and type yes in the box if you would love to have that problem solved. We've gotten only yeses so far, so that is a good thing. You're in the right place when you're typing yes. So you see, we live in a universe that speaks to us through, oops, wait a minute. It speaks through us through true growth signals. And those are our longings and our discontent. Our longings are what we want more of, and our discontent is what we want less of. And it's that feeling of longing for something you haven't yet created, and a feeling of discontentment with current circumstances that sparks us to grow. Reverend Dr. Michael Beckwith has a great quote. He says, "We are often pushed by pain until we are pulled by a vision." And that's really what it's all about. So I'm going to share with you a background on how I was pushed by pain before I was pulled by a vision. And this picture is an end result. It's not the beginning. It was a number of years ago. My mother was dying of cancer, and I had just ended a significant relationship. And I was feeling heartbroken and lost. I'm sure there are some of you out there that have had these feelings in the past. And I really wasn't sure what I should do, how I should proceed. And it occurred to me that I should go out and have some fun. So I did that. I went out to, a friend of mine was singing she's a folk singer, so I went to hear her sing. So think of things that you can do when you are having some kind of situation like this, and see what you can do to help you move through it and past it. So I went to hear my friends sing, and I looked around and they had a bookstore. And I noticed that a lot of the books that they were selling, I had read. And they weren't your usual books. They were Carlos Castaneda, Journey to Ishland, and I think another one of them was the Zen of Motorcycle Maintenance or something like that. And I figured any place that sells books that I have read would be a good place for me to be. So I started attending. It happened to be a church, Unity Church on Delaware. And the first 3 Sundays, I cried because I felt such a sense of belonging and connection. And people who knew me back then would be shocked to think that I would get teary-eyed in public. And over the years, I started taking classes and I started teaching classes, and I really loved it when people got it. You know, when that light bulb goes off and people start seeing things differently and start doing things differently. So I decided that I wanted to be able to help people do that in a bigger sector. So I had taken, actually I had co-taught Prosperity Plus at Unity. And one of the people that did it was Mary Morrissey. So I went and I signed up for her coaching certification. And because I wanted to have something more secular, but still have a spiritual connection to it. So I became a life mastery consultant. And after doing that, it really helped me come up with a vision of what I would love in my life, and really helped me move into that place of being that vision. And I personally apply this proven system to my life, and now I am living as a transformational life coach. I'm living the dream. I invest my time and energy in my career that I love. I have deep, rich, meaningful relationships that I cherish with my heart, and my health is better than ever. In fact, I am healthier now than I was 5 years ago. And I'm able to serve my clients I love and help incredible people like you discover, design, and then live into their dream life. And I'm going to interchange sometimes dream and sometimes vision, because dream resonates more with some people and vision with others. So just know when I say dream or vision, it means the same thing. And I absolutely love my life, and I would not be here today if it wasn't for the Dream Builder process. So in the Dream Builder program, there are 10 principles which will skyrocket your success if you apply them to your life. And today I'm grateful to be able to give you 3 of those principles that you can apply now and to help you create a life that you absolutely love. So if you're in for the possibility of creating something even more amazing for your life, touch your heart and say, I'm in. And then type in the chat window, I'm in. So here is my promise to you. I promise I'm going to give you everything I can in 60 minutes we're together. And at the end of this presentation, many of you are going to want to take this information further and integrate it into your life. So for you, I have a special gift that I'm going to love to give you at the end of this presentation. I also have an additional gift for any of you that stay until the end. So I will know who stays until the end. I get a list of everybody that's there. So if you stay till the end, you will get an additional gift from me. So let's look at success. And I want you to think about some times in your life where you were successful. It could be something as easy, thinking about it now, as riding a bike. Or it could be something more complicated, like graduating from college. So just think about 2 or 3 successes you've had in your life and write those down. And as you write them down, remember how it felt to accomplish that. And remember how it felt having other people participate in your success. Because when we remember the successes, we can use this for any future when we run into a time when we're not feeling quite so successful. We can remember our past successes, and that can keep us moving forward instead of stopping. Would anybody care to share one of their successes? If you have a success that you've accomplished in your life, just type it in the chat window. And if you're willing to share. So let's learn how to expand our awareness for success in the areas of our life that matter most to you. And there are 4 quadrants, major quadrants or domains in our life, which we experience our results in. And those are health and well-being, love and relationships, vocation or creative expression, and time and money freedom. So, and every one of us has results in each one of these areas. And the results you're getting in your life in these areas are a perfect reflection of your awareness in these areas. So let's expand our awareness together by studying the pattern that causes our results, or what I call our results formula. Your thoughts cause your feelings, and you know this. When you think joyful thoughts, you feel happy. When you think scary thoughts, your heart beats faster. And when you think about all the things left to do and how there's not enough time to do them, you feel stressed and overwhelmed. And when you think about what you've accomplished and what you're capable of, you feel more confident. Your thoughts reflect your physiology. By law, your feelings must be expressed into your actions. So try this out. Just for a moment, take the physical posture and facial expression of someone who is depressed. We all know how to do that. Our shoulders go down, our head goes down, our facial expression, we have an expressionless face, or we're frowning. Now shake that off. And if you could see me, you'd be seeing me shaking, shaking, shaking. Shake it off. Put on the body position of someone who is confident, happy, and just had a major success. Your shoulders go up, back, your arms are up in the air, and you're smiling. So thank you for submitting your success of buying your first home. That's a great success. So again, this was a little bit delayed. So if I pop in and mention something that was talked about a few moments ago, that's just why, because it takes a while for you to get my message and for you to type it back to me. So our actions, and it's our actions that create our results. Your thoughts cause your feelings cause your actions, and your actions cause your results. And based on those results, you have new thoughts, which create new feelings, which create new actions, which create new results. And this is the law of cause and effect. Yet most people don't get this. Most people look at their results. They look at their circumstances, their conditions, and they call those their causes. Actually, they're too smart to call them their causes. They actually call them their B causes. I can't start a new career because I'm too old, or because I'll lose all of my benefits. I can't take off because I don't have the money, or because I don't have the vacation time and my boss won't let me. I can't find love, the love of my life, because I'm not young enough, thin enough, attractive enough. I can't because. Where the true cause of all of our results is right here, your thoughts. Your results are caused by what you have been thinking. This is the first cause. So if you want to know what you've been thinking, look at your results, because your results never lie. So if you want to create new results in your life, you must begin by looking at your thinking, where our thinking comes from and how our minds create a thought. Now, I am honored to speak in many different groups and organizations at live events, and often after the presentation, someone will come to the back of the room and find me and say they lead another group or an organization and ask if they can hire me to come to their group and present, which I'm always happy to do. I love presenting this material. And whenever I do go to a group or organization, I love doing this exercise. So I'm going to give you 10 seconds to look around your room, the room you're in, and see everything that you can see that is blue in color. Try to remember everything that is blue. Go, look around, look for blue, look for blue, look for blue, look for blue. Count all of the things. Now stop. Now close your eyes. With your eyes closed, bring to mind all of the red items you saw. Raise your hand if you saw more blue than red, and then type in the chat blue if you saw more blue than red. Almost everyone that does this exercise does. Now open your eyes and look around at the red things in the room. Do you see more red than you saw before? Most likely you do. So why is this? There's an area in our brain called the reticular activating system, whose job it is to mediate our overall level of consciousness or awareness. In other words, the reticular activating system's job is to bring into our awareness what it is that we're looking for and filter out of our awareness what we're not looking for. And at any given moment, we are bombarded by 400 billion bits of information, yet we can only see or process 2,000. So that's where the reticular activating system comes in, is figuring out what 2,000 bits to look at. So what are you paying attention to? Whatever you're paying attention to, you will see. Remember, seek and ye shall find. Most of us are taught to focus our thoughts on what's reasonable, what's safe, why we can't, what's missing, what problems we may face, why it won't work. If we want to change our results, we must first start by changing our focus. It was Henry Ford who said, "Obstacles are those frightful things that you see when you take your eyes off of the goals." So you see, if you focus on something different, oops, I hit the wrong button there, I apologize. If you focus on something different, you will see something different. A good example that I like to use is every time I go to buy a new car, once I make a decision to buy that car, it seems like overnight there are hundreds of them. And I don't really think that there are hundreds of people buying the car that I'm interested in. But it is just that I am focused on that now and not on something else. So highly successful people begin with the end in mind. They begin with this shift in focus of the 2,000 bits that they want to focus on. They become clear on what they really want, because where your attention goes, energy flows. You begin to see resources and opportunities other people miss. This brings us to the first secret of dream building, which is designing a dream. So what do you want? What would you love in your life? Write this down. Clarity is power. Without a clearly defined blueprint, you cannot build your dream. Just like you have to have a clear blueprint if you want to build a house, the same is true for your dream. When you become clear on what it is you really want in life, you begin to see opportunities, circumstances, resources that you would have otherwise missed. So let's design the blueprint of your dream or your vision, and let's make it crystal clear. Consider the 4 domains of your life: your health and well-being, your love and relationships, your vocation, and your time and money freedom. For our purposes today, I'm going to ask you to just choose one area that you would love to improve the most. And if you're having trouble narrowing it down, you can apply this exercises to all areas later. But for now, just pick one domain in your life that you'd love to see improved results in. And I invite you to give yourself permission to imagine, just like you did when you were a kid, when nothing was impossible and no dream was too big. So when you were 3 or 4 years old, you had a very good imagination. You imagined being a fireman or an astronaut or a ballerina or a doctor or anything you wanted. So I challenge you to dream big. We're going to unlock your imagination with this simple question: what would I love? So ask yourself right now, what would I love? You receive different answers inside yourself when you ask, what would I love, compared to what do I think I can do? What does the economy say I can do? What is my current situation say I can do? What does politics say I can do? What do other people say I should do? Howard Thurman was Dr. Martin Luther King's mentor, and he said, don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive, and then do that, because the world needs people who can come alive. So for just a moment, lean into this question. What would I love? What would I love in this area of my life? And I'm going to take you into a process called the time machine. Right now, imagine you're getting into a time machine and traveling 3 years into the future. And 3 years from now, everything you wanted completely worked out. Now take your pen and a sheet of paper, and at the top write, I am so happy and grateful now that. In a moment, I'm going to give you 2 minutes to write down what you would love in this area of your life. And I want you to suspend any urge to figure out how this result is going to happen right now. I simply want you to ask, what would I love? As if someone gave you a magic wand and you could create exactly what you want. So dream big here. Now I invite you to take a deep breath. Close your eyes if you want, and imagine it's 3 years from today and everything worked out. All the challenges are solved. Consider, what would you love for your life? What's happening in this area of your life you've selected? If you could wave a magic wand, what great things are occurring for you? If you couldn't fail, what would you love to be doing? What experiences are you having? Who are you with? See it, feel it. How does it feel? Just feel that right now. Now open your eyes and take 2 minutes and write as much as you can, painting a beautiful picture of the life that you're imagining. You have 30 more seconds, so try to wrap it up. And remember to make this as vivid a picture as you can. Okay, so that was 2 minutes. How did you do? Did you love that? I always love it when I'm able to do that. So we're on our way. This is the beginning of designing a life you would love. And I know you might not know how this dream is going to happen, and that's okay. Great dream builders are willing to suspend the need to know how at the beginning of the process. And really, don't worry, we'll get there. Now that you have the start of a clearly defined dream, let's move into principle number 2. Best-selling author and renowned life coach Bob Proctor says this: there is a single mental move you can make which in a millisecond will solve enormous problems for you. It has the potential to improve almost any personal or business situation you will ever encounter. And it can literally propel you down the path to incredible success. We have a name for this magic mental activity, and it's called decision. You must make a firm decision for what it is you want before you can bring your dream into reality. Napoleon Hill, who is the author of Think and Grow Rich, after studying 25,000 men and women, concluded that highly successful people formed a habit by making decisions quickly and changing them seldom, if ever, while unsuccessful people make decisions quickly and change them frequently. It's the decisions that we are willing to make that shapes our life. There was a gentleman that had a check that he wanted to cash. So he went into a bank and he asked the teller, "Can you cash this check for me?" And the teller said, "Sure, just sign your name on the back and hand it to me and I will give you your money." And the gentleman went, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa. You want me to sign my name on the check and give it to you before you'll give me the money?" And the teller said, "Yep, that's bank policy. Just sign your name, give me the check, and I'll give you the money." And the gentleman said, "What if you don't give me my money after I give you the check?" And the teller said, "Well, I think you can trust me. This is my job and this is what I do." And he said, "I really don't like that policy. Why don't you give me the money first and then I'll give you the check?" And the teller said, "That's bank policy. That's nothing I can do about it." So they went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And finally the teller said, "I can't help you. Maybe you could try another bank down the street." So the gentleman went to the second bank, went in, same thing. "You have to sign the check." He said, "Okay." He goes to the next bank, the third bank, same thing. He goes to the fourth bank and he's bantering back and forth with the teller. Eventually the teller reached underneath the cabinet and pulled out a Nerf bat and bopped him in the head and said, "Sign the check." And he signed the check and he got his money. He went back to the first bank and walked in and said to the teller, "See, down the street, they gave me my money." And the teller said, "Yeah, but I bet even down the street you had to sign the check, right?" And he said, "Yeah, I did. But you see, nobody ever explained it to me the way he did, the way they did." And that usually causes quite a bit of laughter. And the reason I love this story is because I believe on many levels it's my story and it's your story. That we go to the teller of life. We go to our imagination. We go to our dream or our goal for our business. And we say, "I really want this business to be like this. I want my income to be like this. I want my relationships to be like this. I want my health to be like this." And we decide for it. And then life says to us, "Great. Well, then go right ahead and sign your name on it first. You become the thing you want, and I'll cash the check for you." And we back up and we say, "No, no, 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 no. Give me the resources first." In other words, when the economy is good, when I have enough business, when I have the money, when I have the time, when I have the relationship, when I've got the confidence, when things change around me first, then I'll sign my name to it. So you must be willing to sign your name to the thing you want and take action in the absence of knowing all the steps if you want to have your dream. No new process can begin, and no new path can be forged until a decision is made. But once you make a firm decision, even the absence of perfect conditions, a whole manner of things begin to occur and rush to your aid for the fulfillment of your decision. So what I want you to do is take that piece of paper that you had your dream written down on and add to the bottom. You want to leave lots of space so you can add things to it after this webinar is over. And then you want to write at the bottom this or something even better still, because we want to hold this in the hands of infinite possibilities. Because if you say, this is what I want, then this is what you will get. What if you say this or something better may come along that you didn't even realize. And then underneath that, I'd like you to sign and date it. So I want to go over with you a few of some things that people are saying, some of my clients. And most notably, I would like to talk about Amy. Amy went through the dream building process. And when she started, she said she lacked direction. She didn't know what her purpose was. And that really caused her at times to feel really depressed. So she started the dream builder process, and she showed up every week. She took the steps and she defined her dream, and she kept moving forward. She kept taking action, even in the absence of evidence of anything actually taking place as a result of it. She kept dreaming, she kept taking action, and I periodically check in with all of my clients and ask how they're doing. So at 10 weeks, I went back and I said to Amy, this is where you were 10 weeks ago. How are you feeling now? And her response was, I'm Amy. So she went through the process. She kept moving forward. She took the steps. She defined her dream, and she just kept moving forward and moving forward. And she kept asking, what can I do? And she stayed in that question of what can I do? And she received guidance from herself and just kept asking the question, because really the answers are inside of you. And if you can dream it, you can achieve it. And the whole point of Dream Builder is to just stay in that process with a mentor who can help you when you're feeling a little discouraged. So remember, the quality of your life is framed by the quality of the questions you're willing to ask. And most of us ask very weak questions of the universe. What do I think I can do? What does my bank account say I can do? What does my current job say I can do? So she learned to lean in and to ask bigger questions. So she would say, okay, so if I didn't believe this was impossible, what would I do? And her old mindset was telling her it was impossible. And as long as she agrees with that old mindset, then that becomes the limit of her possibility. The truth is, we live in an abundant universe that is infinite in scope and has unlimited ideas for any size dream that we want. So perhaps right now, in reference to your own dream, there may be a thought that's limiting you. Those limiting thoughts are actually constricting the flow of solutions and possibilities. You must connect with the part of you that's open to possibilities in order to attract the ideas that will bring the fulfillment of your dream. So with my encouragement, Amy kept asking, so if I didn't believe it was impossible, what could I do? And she kept taking the steps. And now she is in a great place, a place that she has never been in her life before. And the story doesn't really end there. She's experienced herself as a much bigger person, a much more capable, much more creative, and that's really what happens with dream building. Now, she had stayed caught in the idea that there was no way she could have accomplished her dream, then that would have been exactly what happened to her. But with my help, she accessed a different level of thinking. She created a clear blueprint of her dream, and she made a decision to act in the face of challenging conditions. She put herself on a different frequency. And on that frequency, there was way more abundance, way more creativity, way more time, way more fun. Amy was clear on what she wanted. She made a powerful decision and took action in the face of some very real circumstances. And if you want to cash a check, you need to fill out the amount and you need to sign your name on the check. In terms of your dream, that means you have to be specific and clear about what you want. Then putting your name on the check means making a decision for your dream by saying, yes, this is the life I would love. Yes, today is my day. So if you're willing to make a decision for your life, raise your hand and say yes. Type yes in the chat box. So just like Amy, you have created a blueprint for your dream. You've decided for your dream. And now we will talk about principle number 3, which involves overcoming what stops most people from bringing their dream into reality, and that is fear. That's why dream building principle number 3 is called befriending your fear. Napoleon Hill said, the value of our decisions depends on the courage we have to make them. Dream building requires the ability to suspend knowing how and taking action in the absence of all answers. When we decide for a dream, there's a part of us that says yes. And there's a part of us that rises up and says, yeah, right. That's not going to happen. Or that voice may say, well, how are you going to do that? You've never done that before. Who do you think you are? You just don't have what it takes. So raise your hand right now if you've ever heard that part of you, and then type yes in the box. How many of you has that voice already spoken to you during this presentation? And raise your hand and say now, if it's speaking to you now. So what is that voice? It's the voice of fear. It's the part of you that wants things to stay status quo. And often fear will disguise itself as practicality. Fear won't say, I'm here to kill your dreams. It's too smart for that. It'll say, I'm here to keep you safe. I'm here to make sure you never have to experience that level of pain again. I'm here to make sure your kids are taken care of. I'm here to make sure you don't get embarrassed. It's the voice that says, now is not a good time. Wait until later. It's the voice that says, you don't have the money for that. That's irresponsible. It's the voice that says, you don't have the experience or their credentials. Who are you to have this dream? And it's the voice, the part of you that says, what if you fail? Okay, what if you fail? How many of you have had a failure in your life? Raise your hand and type in yes. We all have. When we were babies, we all started out as non-walkers. And as a non-walker, we saw people around us walking on their hind legs, and you wanted that level of freedom for yourself. You wanted to be upright and not to be floor-bound. And so you rose up. You locked your eyes on that toy or that cookie that you wanted, and you gave it your best shot at taking steps. And what happened? You fell down. But what did you do next? You rose up, tried to take a step, and you fell down. When you were learning to walk, never once did you fall down and think to yourself, well, that's it. I guess I'm just not meant to be a walker. And this may seem funny to think about giving up on walking like that. And yet you rose up and you kept going. And with each try, you took a few more steps and a few more steps until finally you became a walker. And something happens when we become adults. We stop giving ourselves permission to fall down. If we fall down in business, we say, I guess I'm just not meant to be a business owner. Or if we fall down in love, we say, I guess love isn't in the cards for me. When it's falling down and rising up, that you are actually the key to achieving your dreams. You must befriend your fear. And we need to give ourselves permission to fail enough to succeed. Great dream builders do this. They fail and then they try again. Oprah was fired by television executives, told that she was not fit for TV, but she rose up and kept going. Steven Spielberg was rejected from the USC Film School 3 times, but he rose up and kept going. J.K. Rowling was unemployed, divorced, raising a daughter, and her first novel, Harry Potter, was rejected by 12 publishing houses, but she rose up and kept going. Bruce Springsteen was fired from his band and told by his manager that he couldn't sing, but he rose up and kept going. Martin Luther King Jr. thought that it wasn't a good, convenient time for him to be doing this, but he rose up and kept going. Henry Ford was a failure at 3 businesses before starting Ford Motor Company at the age of 53. And he was a success because he rose up and kept going. And what about you? Are you willing to rise up and keep going? I hope so. I know you are, or you wouldn't be here. Fear and failure are prerequisites to achieving great dreams. So when the voice of doubt questions you and asks, what if you fail? Let your response be, bring it on. I might fail, but if I do, I will rise up, keep going, and I will succeed. So if you believe that, type in the chat box, I will succeed. So how do we give power to the part of us that wants to move forward when we're hearing that voice that wants us to play small? There's a whole process to this that I take my clients through in the Dream Builder program. But for the purposes of today, I'm just going to give you one thing to do. Remember that where your attention goes, energy flows. So when you notice your thoughts going towards limitation, interrupt that thought. Refocus your mind on your dream and then take action. Action is like to your dream is like the ground wire is to electricity. Without a ground wire, electricity doesn't work. And without action, you cannot move forward with your dream. So this action is the key because it tells our subconscious mind that you are serious about your new result. And over time, the old paradigm will actually begin to dissolve away. So to ask the question, what's one action I can take that would move me in the direction of my dream? And then take that action. So take a look at what you have written down as your dream. What is one step you could take that would move you in the direction of your dream? And don't let yourself off the hook here. And Since we're on a webinar, we really can't see what you're doing if you even have written anything. So there's absolutely is some action that you can take to start moving toward the life you would love. So what is that action step for you? Make sure you write down at least one step and then put a date, a by when date next to it, and actually do it by that date. The putting the date on it, a by when, and then actually do it is another powerful signal to the universe that you're serious. You're so serious about doing this action that you've committed your time to it. So progress is more important than perfection. Taking even the smallest step toward your dream will make a difference. The key is to do what you can with what you have from where you are. The choices and actions we take today are ultimately who we become tomorrow. So let me ask you this. Do you feel as though you've connected with these ideas and you know that if you really implemented these, you would make a difference in your life? So again, I want you to raise your hand and type yes in the chat box. So as promised, I have a gift for you and then I'll give you a closing story. But first, I want to recap what we covered. We talked about making a success list that we can use when we're feeling not quite successful. And we can call upon those successes and those feelings of successes to keep us moving forward. We learned a principle number 1, designing your dream. And you must have a blueprint for what you want in order to achieve it. And the clearer the blueprint, the more power you have. And then principle number 2 was the power of decision. You must decide for the thing you want in the absence of knowing how. And then principle number 3 is befriending your fear, and how fear and failure are prerequisites for greatness. And we must befriend our fear and shift our paradigms if we want to achieve our dreams. So as promised, I am loading up for you a special gift that I have. And between my speaking and coaching schedule, I've carved out some time each week for a vision discovery assessment. A vision discovery assessment is a 30-minute phone call with me where we get clear on exactly where you are, what you would love to create, and the most important next step to you getting there. And it's a one-on-one session with me that's valued at $250. And some of you know you're all ready to invest in achieving your dream. So for you, here's the next step. Some one-on-one time with me over the phone where you can invest in you, your dream, and discover the path for how you can get there. I'm offering you a vision discovery assessment completely complimentary at no charge. This is my gift to you. So how many of you are serious about your dream and would love to have a vision discovery assessment with you? Again, raise your hand and click on the assessment button if that's what you're interested. If you want to know that next most important step. I only have 10 vision discovery assessments in my calendar right now. So if you want to have one of those, you want to click on that button, and all you have to do is put your name, your phone number, and your email, and I will contact you tomorrow. And even if you are not able to get, it will only do this for 10 people. So if it says that's not available, just shoot me an email and I'll see if I can fit you into my schedule. So again, if you would like a complimentary vision discovery assessment, just click on that assessment button, put in your name, your phone number, and email, and I will contact you tomorrow for a good time to get together. So I'm going to close this with a story. It's a true story about William H. Murray. William H. Murray is known as one of the top 5 mountain climbers of all time, and he is famous for discovering the southern route of Mount Everest, which made summiting Mount Everest possible. When Edmund Hillary, the first man to ever summit Everest, wanted to put together a team to try to summit Everest, he went looking for William H. Murray. Nobody had summited Everest at the time, and Hillary said to Murray, "We want you on our team." Each person has to either have the money or raise the money for a mountain climbing expedition. William Murray thought, "I would love to be on the expedition." However, in his writing about it, I asked how much it was. When confronted with the price, he said, no way. He had no way of coming up with the money, and disheartened, he declined to go, and they went without him. Hillary's team had a great expedition, but they didn't summit Everest. A couple of years later, Edmund Hillary is putting together another expedition and sought out Murray and asked, "We all want you on this team. Come with us this time." William H. Murray said, "I did exactly the same thing. I said, 'How much is it?' And when confronted with the price, I said, 'I can't do it.'" Again, the number was more than he believed possible for himself. He declined based on conditions. He declined. They go further up the mountain, they learn more, but they still don't summit Everest. A couple of years later, Hillary comes to him again and says, "Listen, we're going one more time. I think we're going to summit this time because last time I got off Everest, I looked at her and I said, 'I will climb you because you're not getting any bigger and I am.'" When William Murray wrote about this in his book, Evidence of Things Not Seen, he said it took all the courage he had. It took every stretch that he could muster, but he caused himself to ask a different question. Instead of asking how much, this time he asked, "How much is the deposit?" And William H. Murray wrote, "When I was told the down payment amount, I knew I could get that amount of money, but I had no idea how to come up with the rest. The down payment wouldn't get him all the way up to Everest, but he said, okay, and put the down payment down anyway." He said later in his writings about the moment, absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. Absence of evidence is simply absence of awareness. You have a Mount Everest level dream, and perhaps there's no clear path at this point, but that doesn't mean a path doesn't exist for you. It just means that you're not aware enough to be able to see the things you can do to generate the results you want. In Murray's book, there's a famous quote by him where he describes what happened for him. And he says, "Until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to fall back. Always ineffectiveness. Concerning all acts of initiative and creation, there is one elementary truth, the ignorance of which kills countless ideas and splendid plans. Namely, that the moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. All sorts of things occur to help one that would never have otherwise occurred. A whole stream of events issue from the decision, raising in one's favor all manner of unforeseen incidents and meetings and material assistance, which no one could have dreamt would have come their way. I learned a deep respect for one of Goethe's couplets. Whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. You have a splendid dream. You wrote it down. You can feel it. You made a decision for it. And to achieve your dream, you must decide for it over and over again. You must decide for it over opposing circumstances. You must decide for it when it's inconvenient. You must decide for it when it's uncomfortable and you don't feel like it. Because there's one elementary truth. You must commit to your dream and befriend the fear. Because when you do, a whole stream of events issue from that decision, raising in one's favor all manner of unseen incidents and meetings and material assistance, which you could not have dreamt would have come your way. For those of you who are willing to commit to your dream, and for those of you who would love the support in achieving your dream, if you would love my help in coaching to the summit of your Everest, just fill out the assessment. Click that assessment button, and we'll get together and help you with your next most important step. And if you are still here, I can see in my metrics here exactly who is still here. I'm going to be sending you a link to 3 Mind PT sessions. One of them is my Mind PT session. And Mind PT is a pre-made mind movie, which if you could watch it for 3 minutes, it changes your mindset for up to 6 to 8 hours. And this is my gift to you for staying till the end. And for those of you who are watching the replay, just type in the chat, "I'm still here," and I will get an email saying that's what you typed in. So whether you're live or watching on the replay, if you're here to the end, you get 3 Mind PT sessions, which is valued at $147. So remember, as we end this webinar and you go out into your life, know that what is inside you is far greater than any challenge you're facing. You have incredible power within you. This is your moment. Today is your day to take bold action. Because as Goethe says, whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. It's been really an honor and a privilege to be with you today, and I want to thank you for attending. And you do have my email. You got my email when all of the reminders went out. So if you have any questions at all, feel free to send me an email. So I just want to end by this song by my friend Irene Boggs. And if you look her up on iTunes or wherever you buy your music, she has a great album called Affirmagem. So I'm just going to play a little bit of her song here I forgot about this slide. And this is what will happen when you take action on your dream. You will have the life that you love. So as I said a few minutes ago, I'm going to turn on and we're going to play just a little bit of this song by Irene Boggs called "This Is My Life." So this is My Life by Irene Boggs. And again, you can go and buy Affirmagems or just buy this song. And just know that I believe in you and I believe in your dream. So thank you for coming tonight. And again, if you have any questions, just shoot me an email. If you're interested in a vision discovery assessment, just click that assessment button. If you have any questions, just shoot them in the chat. Otherwise, I think I'll just stay live for a few more minutes. If you have any questions, I know it's going to take a little bit of delay to go back and forth. If you have any questions, just type them in the chat and we can answer your questions. Otherwise, I thank you for attending, and you will be getting information about how to load Mind PT. And one of the sessions you will get is my session called Vibrant Living, because what I do and what I love is I help people create their dreams and live them vibrantly. So thank you for attending, and Make it a great night. Make it a great week. I love having these webinars on Sunday night because you start out the week in such an amazing place. So just remember as you go forward to keep moving towards your dream. So I don't see anything. I'm just going to end this call. So thank you for attending. Bye-bye.